Okay, test, 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 test. Test, test, test. Are we live or not? Play this thing. Looks like we are live. Just double check our sound. Don't hear anything. I think we're okay. Alright, so it's Tuesday, September 20th. Turn on my laptop power. And it's 2:43 p.m. When did the day go? So I've been trying to get my head wrapped around some JavaScript development stuff for worky things. And the past couple of days I've been kind of stuck on starting it. And what I'm thinking is because I'm not talking to anybody about it, I am not making any progress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try live streaming through this thing for about 30 minutes, I guess. Okay. So what am I doing? I thought I'd be much farther along by now. What I'm trying to do is get this WebRTC peer-to-peer video communication to work. Once I get it to work, it'll be awesome. But, I guess I was drained by my poor attitude toward the available documentation for this feature. And, I never factor in how much time it takes to actually look into the I never take into account how much time it's actually going to take the example code and then adapt it into my own code. Really, I'm just trying to find stuff that I can just drop in and make it work, but that's not going so well with this code because it's one of those trivial examples, which it works, so you can see that, look, technically it works, but it's not in any kind of state to integrate or use anywhere else. And on top of that, it doesn't do a good job of explaining what the elements are. You have to synthesize and put that stuff together yourself. And therefore, maybe my poor attitude is contributing to my lack of interest at the moment and keeping moving forward on it. But need to make money, need to make progress, so we have to do that. There's no shying away from this. Although, I would actually feel better just talking about it, complaining. It's a very powerful tool, talking and complaining. But so long, I don't like to have a negative attitude about things, though. So, let me see. Let's switch over here and see what's going on. So, over on the display, let's put something in here. Live streaming, coworking, JavaScript in little sessions today. This chat window is at davidsay.com stream chat. I should update my anyway. I'm sure I need this second microphone. I have multiple microphones covering this time. This is just to make sure that it doesn't go totally soft. Although I am tethered also. Maybe I should just plug in a regular overhead mic. Anyway, distractions. I'm also noticing how dirty my glasses are. So here I am. I'm looking at this is the project I was doing this morning, and I need to switch to. Oh yes. It's starting to come back. So let me go to my full development setup. So boom, boom. It should be over here. This should have a terminal window. And it should be over here, and it should be fairly large. That's the stuff from before. CD dev pull 1401A1, which is the test engine. Gulp. Pull up a browser. Where is this? This is localhost 3000. I think we're in the demo. I think we're running this test app. With that'll be fine, and then I need to probably so source tree, which is the GitHub repo, which should be on this side, queries on that side. I don't think we need this desktop anymore. That looks about right. Yeah. Alright, so where are we here? Let's see. I'm in my branch BG WebRTC mirror. And apparently, what was I doing? Oh, is this the wrong? What is this? This is okay, it is 1401. I've removed some white space and I added a console log here just to see what it was doing. I don't think I need these changes because these library load bugs are fixed in this branch, or in this project. So I'm going to dump these trivial changes and just start again. Alright, so if I go back to here, reload, and this should be working. So the bottom was the video thing. So what is it that I'm trying to do? It's my menu to-do list. I guess I can still pop it up over here. There it is. So right now I'm on the WebRTC peer-to-peer streaming. So, okay, promises, last time I was trying to convert the old syntax of the sample code to the current syntax. There were some issues with that because I tried to do it very mechanically and not actually do a deep reading of the changes to the standard. This is all experimental technology that's, I think, just becoming to the point when it's mainstream usable. I can skip this part and I can just do create the transport between apps. Okay, so one interesting thing is like this peer-to-peer demo thing. Like I rewrote the sample code so it makes more sense. And but you'd think, what's a peer-to-peer connection useful for? Well, it's good if you want to talk between browsers. The sample doesn't implement that, and in fact doesn't even really do a good job of telling you what you need to transport. But you need to actually send the transport information using some method. Now, to send them between browsers, you need to set up inter-browser communications before that. Which means what? You know, even though I have kind of a dim view of the sample sources, let's make sure that they don't already have a sample for that. WebRTC peer-to-peer. Simple peer-to-peer with WebRTC. Looks like there's something that already does this. Right, configure easy use peer-to-peer connection name. Maybe this is what we want. Maybe I should just look at this. Oh wait, this is using someone else's service. So I can't use that. Let's look at the media cost structure though. Peer connect another peer's ID. What is a peer ID? Pick an ID. Alright, so they have their own server doing the matchmaking based on their ID and their API key, so that's how they can do that, but I don't want to use their server. I need to implement my own server. I already have my own server set up. I just don't have it in the WebRTC, in the 1401A1 project. I have it in the downstream play project. I've wondered if I should move the comm system into 1401A1. And you know what? It would be useful. It's maybe expands the role of that. Oh, what's this? Here's an article. Get over it. WebRTC isn't peer-to-peer. Here's someone who's complaining like I complain. Let's see. People throw into conversation like, whatever, it's just peer-to-peer. Can't do it. It's just a... This is like... So for... You get to choose your own... Oh, this guy's talking semantics, really. Let's see, let's look at this. Experimental technologies. Great for the test pages. WebRTC landing. Connections are... Right, so this looks useful. This is how the connection is standing. Creates a peer connection, sends a call offer to browser 2. Peers must be present with local streaming video before... What does that mean? Peers must be present with local streaming video. Okay, so I think that means... Well, this is an example of a bad, ambiguous sentence. Peers must be present. I'm guessing this means both browser 1 and browser 2. Anyone who wants to set the communication must be present, which I'm guessing means are online, rather than just existing in the universe. Online and able to talk to each other. And local streaming video. I guess that these both need local streaming video feeds. Although I think streaming video might mean something different in each case. If you're on the local source... Oh wait, no, this is going back and forth. Maybe. So the specific use case is unclear. These are maybe both sending feed information to each other. So if you had a live webcam chat, both of them are providing streaming feeds. So in this case, I only want one way. But maybe going both ways is something to do. Something to consider. Anyway, it sends a call offer. SSDP receives a call offer and then generates and sends a call answer. This HTTP is the protocol. Receives answer from browser 2, calls start ICE method of peer connection, and sends generated ICE candidate to browser 2. Receive and process ICE candidate from browser and send generated ICE candidate to browser 1. Receive and process ICE candidate for browser 2. So I guess what's happening is this ICE candidate has to be, I think, verified by the other browser. Maybe an ICE candidate is something that just says, can I actually talk to you? And if it does, it sends probably its version of the thing it can talk with. So I'm guessing that start ICE here must establish whether or not it can see the other one and send, and likewise the other side needs to do the same thing. And then so once the ICE candidates are processed and received, then you have a connection. I'm going to make a note of this. Get another floaty window. I'll put it over here. Let's see. Yeah. Right now, I just got a message from Ben, who I'm working with on this project. And he's ready to conference call this, so I'm going to cut this short just as I'm getting rolling on this. Yeah, let me... 1 second. Just started getting rolling. so I'll look at that later. Set up feeds on both your set up peer connection or PC1, create peer connection and send SDP to PC2, PC2 receive SDP, send answer SDP, PC1 receive answer SDP. What's that called? That was called a request offer. Send offer SDP. Smell cat poop. PC2 receive SDP, receive offer. Send answer SDP, receive answer answer SDP. I'll start ice of piece and send candidate to PC2 to receive process candidate, send response candidate, PC1 receive is candidate, process. So I think that's what I've been seeing in the sample code. Yeah. And so what's missing is the transport. How do you send the peer connection? But I just will send the JSON over there. So I guess I need to commit to actually moving in the networked, the actual sending of data between things. And I already have a network that does that. The easier thing to do, I'm guessing, is actually to commit this, but then I have a choice. I can either put the network into 1401A1, or I can put the WebRTC into the downstream repo play. And it would make sense to put it into play at this point. I've used 1401A1 as the starting point for building the demo. It does need cleaning up, but I can easily do that on the play side of things and import the whole thing back. So yeah, I think I'll do that. So decision made. When did I start this thing? I started this 15 minutes ago-ish. So what time is it now? It's 3 o'clock, so I'll say I started this at 14:30. Oh wait, that's not right. 12:45, 2:45. That's right, I started the stream at 2:43 p.m. So I'm updating my timesheet here. 14:45, review, next step in getting WebRTC over onto the peer-to-peer. And that'll be super important. Once I get that working, then that will unlock a whole flood of stuff. I can move on to the more general task of designing the baseline remote app template. The thing that will allow us to make just like little mini apps all over the place and have them all coordinate with each other. And then I can work on the rest of it. That would be a big unblocking. Alright, so I'm going to stop this for now. I'm going to do my conference call and then I'll come back in a little bit and continue. I'm kind of amazed by how much energy just talking stuff through seems to give me when I'm working on problems like this. I guess I just don't like working in silence on this kind of thing. I'm kind of chatty, I guess. Alright, so I'm going to close off the stream. And I just realized how green this shirt is with how green this room is. I might have to get a different shirt for these. This one's actually too big. How far over that goes. But maybe I was much bigger back then. Alright, so that's the stream for now. I will be back later, hopefully. I was going to do my 15-minute new music stream at 1, but since I fell asleep, that was not going to happen. I'll try to do that later in the day and move upstairs. We'll see. So, I'll see you later.